name is Morgan Ewing, and today I'm going to talk to you about the hazards of smoking in cars while minors are present. Did you know that more than 24 million children in the United States have been exposed to secondhand smoke? That means that 37% of children in the United States are involuntarily consuming nicotine, benzene, vinyl chloride, formaldehyde, and over 7,000 other harmful chemicals, the same way smokers do. Young children are most affected by secondhand smoke and least able to avoid it. Most of the exposure to secondhand smoke comes from their parents. Children whose parents smoke are more likely to get sick, have more lung infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia, are more likely to have a cough or wheeze and have shortness of breath, and get more ear infections. The American Academy of Pediatrics concludes that child exposure to secondhand smoke is associated with increased rates of lower respiratory illness, middle ear effusion, asthma, and sudden infant death syndrome. The issue of the risk to children associated with exposure to secondhand smoke lies particularly in vehicles. As Americans, we spend a great deal of time in vehicles. The Harvard School of Public Health study of smoking in cars with kids found alarming levels of pollution being generated in just 5 minutes of smoking in a vehicle. The average levels of pollution found in the vehicles were actually higher than that found in similar studies of smoking in bars. Such levels have been described as unhealthy for sensitive groups such as children and elderly by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Now, I know what you're thinking. If the windows are down, then no harm is being done. Researchers conducting a study in rural southwestern Georgia interviewed low-income families on the establishment and enforcement of smoking rules in family cars. The researchers were shocked to find a widespread inaccurate belief that secondhand smoke was not hazardous as long as the car windows were down, when in fact, researchers at Stanford University show that smoking just half a cigarette in a car results in pollutant levels 10 times the hazardous limit designated by the EPA when the windows are closed and open. The only way to truly protect children from the exposure to secondhand smoke is to prohibit all smoking in that space. If you are a smoker, there are a few alternatives to smoking tobacco you may want to consider before lighting up again. Smokeless tobacco, such as chewing tobacco and electronic cigarettes, are still harmful. However, they can help to eliminate involuntary secondhand smoke. Legislators are also taking action to prohibit children's exposure to secondhand smoke. Since 2006, 9 states have prohibited smoking in privately owned vehicles while children are present. If you look at the chart given to you, you can see that states such as Oregon and California have banned smoking in cars with persons as old as 18. By implementing laws and policies to make our communities smoke-free, we can protect our children from secondhand smoke, reduce death and diseases associated with secondhand smoke, motivate smokers to quit, and reduce the number of people who start smoking. Kauai County Council member says that as legislators, we have the obligation to make public spaces safe. Passing these bans of smoking in cars with minors will help with more education and outreach and be a tool for kids to talk to their parents. This is a small step in the right direction, but an important one. Here's one final thought. Secondhand smoke costs our economy $5.6 billion a year due to lost productivity. Expenses, doctor visits, medicine, lost school time, and often lost work time for the parent who must stay home with a sick child who suffers from the negative effects of secondhand smoke. Don't wait for the government to act. Even if you smoke, you can decide to make your home and your car smoke-free. This is the safest thing to do for your children, other family members, pets, and guests. Thank you.
Wow.